Hi all, I'm Tommy. So for my part of the project, I looked at the historical aspect of sexism in music. And based on my research, I found that indeed sexism started from the beginning. In one of my journal articles, they quoted Shields' 1977, and they say, quote, "Playing a musical instrument was long considered to be a good feminine accomplishment. Some men and boys did not want to take piano or other music lessons because it was considered feminine to do so. Yet the professional musicians, including conductors, composers, and performers, were mostly men." I found this last sentence to be really interesting, and I felt like it kind of makes sense. So I did a quick Google search of the top 20 classical composers, and indeed, they're all men. I then searched the top 50 conductors, and I thought, maybe there's some hope of diversification here. I then found a survey conducted by Raman in 2014 among the top 20 US orchestras, almost 2,000 musicians. And they found that among all, 63% are men. All except for St. Louis are dominated by men. Way to go, St. Louis. In the 70s and 80s, they actually started blind orchestra auditions. However, they found that still there is a gender disparity. Eventually, they found that it is the clicking of the shoes that created this bias. And so they had musicians take off their shoes, and they eventually found a 50-50 split. In my article, they studied a stereotype, quote, "Girls do not play drums and larger brass instruments. Boys do not sing, dance, or play string instruments and higher sounding instruments." In the survey, they found that the majority of music directors and conductors are men. Here's a pictorial version of the data. They found that for higher instruments like the violin and harp are dominated by women, and the lower instruments like the viola, cello, and bass are dominated by men. For wind instruments, they found that the flute is dominated by women, and the oboe, clarinet, and bassoon are dominated by men. They found all brass instruments to be dominated by men. For percussions, again, dominated by men. But finally, to end on a better note, the keyboard, they found a 50-50 split. So in terms of diversifying the classical music industry, we still have a long way to go. I apologize for not being there in person with you, but if you have any questions, please feel free to email me.